Okay. We are, I say we, I mean me. I'm outside. It's always a little bit of a risk working outside and doing a live because there's so much background noise going on. I've got some very noisy birds, and also we have peacocks in my village. So if you do hear any odd noises in the background, it could be one of those two things. Also, I have 4 dogs, and well, if you've got dogs, you know what it's like with those. So I ramble for this first part because it just takes a moment for YouTube to register that I'm live. There's a little bit of a delay, so I don't like giving too much away in that first little bit because it does chop it off quite often. So we've got that small talk out of the way and done with. I am Connie. I am one of your Dixie Belle brand ambassadors. I'm live here on Dixie Belle's YouTube channel every Tuesday at 2 p.m. my time, which is early in the morning for a lot of you guys over the pond. And like I say, I'm outside. Hello, you've caught me live. Hello, hello, hello. You've caught me outside. You've caught me live. So well done for that. And I am also outside. It could go wrong. Live's outside. There's just things out here that are beyond my control. One, the birds, the peacocks, and the dogs. I've got a dog asleep down there. I've got 3 asleep in there because we did a 5-mile walk this morning. So they're all tired. There should be no dogs interfering with this live. The reason I've brought you out here is because I'm painting in silk today, and I'm painting my exterior wall. So if you follow me on social media, you'll know that I painted this. I think it was last year. Could have even been the year before, I don't know. So this is the outside of the area that I work. I work in my little sunroom, or a conservatory as we call it over here. And if I sort of take you back a little bit, just being careful not to trip over any kids' toys. So this is my little sunroom. It's only like a single story, and that is where I work. So it's quite a nice little room, and there's the peacock. You can do your front door. So these doors were UVPC, whatever the name is. Thinking when I picked these doors, we had them installed, and they're not even that old. Oh, just flick that in my face. They're not even that old. And as soon as they were installed, I was like, why did I put those in? They are awful. They're awful. So I painted them. You can find that video. I believe it is a long way away. A long time back. I'm sure I did it last year. I'm sure it was only last year that I did it. But if you search on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel, you can find that edited video on there. Or is it on my channel? Do you know what? I don't even know. What I will do, when I finish this live, I will find said video of me painting these plastic doors, and I will link it in the comments, or I'll tell you where it is, because I don't even know if it's on my channel, Dixie Belle's channel. I can't remember. A year's a long time ago. I've created a lot of content since then. Anyway, I will find said video and I'll find it out for you. But today, I'm not going to be painting plastic, although they do need a refresh because one of my dogs is naughty and scratches the door. So I do need to refresh these. The reason that I'm painting the brick today is because it doesn't actually need a repaint, but I've slightly gone a different way with my colour because I'm changing my decor all the time, because that's just who I am and I can't help it. Okay, I'm not going to apologise for that. Every time Andy comes home, he's like, why have you changed that? It looked fine. I'm like, because that's just who I am as a person, and I'm not apologising. Okay, so this is black sands. This whole exterior wall, I'm not going to show you too far that way because we've got dry and washing over there. It's not Insta friendly. This whole wall that goes all the way across to there, and then that's our boundary with next door, is painted in black sands. Do you know what? I only painted 1 coat of black sands, and it has weathered amazingly, apart from a little bit of dirt that's been splashed up it when I jet washed the decking. and it's a bit windy today, so I hope it doesn't blow the tripod over, and a few cobwebs and stuff. It actually looks like the day that I painted it. However, I have painted a little wall down here. So long story short, and I don't even know if you're really interested in all of this, but anyway, we've got a lot of decking area. We've got all this, we've got all that down there, so there's a lot of brown. We've also got a very big garden that goes down that way as well, but we've decked a lot of it because we're on a slope, so we've decked a lot of our garden. And the wall down here, which is clad with scaffolding planks, I painted, hi Jackie, I painted in Anchor a couple of days ago. On a bit of a whim, I painted it in Anchor, and I actually prefer it to Black Sands. So I'm now got to change up here to Anchor. So long story short, my YouTube name is Faff Designs, Faff Designs. I've got a few videos on there of various different things. You can find lots of different content on there. I also create content for Dixie Belle's YouTube channel, which is obviously the channel that I'm live on now, as well as loads of other people, content creators and other brand ambassadors that create content for this channel as well. So we're painting an Anchor. I have got a pot of Anchor, and no, I just saw a question pop up about, is this sealed? This is not sealed. So silk is perfect for outside because it's got a built-in top coat. It's got, I should have shook that before, I should have stirred it. It's got a built-in top coat. It's also UV stable, which means it's not going to fade. It's not going to fade or go dull or anything. So I've just shook it now. I'll put the lid down over here. Got a brush in my pocket, as you do, and I'm going to paint this in this. I've been waiting for a day where it's not going to rain. Check the forecast, but I have been waiting for a day where I'm not in direct sunlight, because that just makes it a little bit harder to apply. You can still do it in direct sunlight. It just makes it paint dry super quick, and it makes it harder, a little bit harder to kind of maneuver, if that makes sense. Not that there's much maneuvering on this surface. So I'm going to pull you in dead close, because there's actually different types of brick. This brick is the porous kind, so it's a very kind of rough, cheap brick. Around the outside, the original property is more of a smooth brick. Now, I don't know, because I haven't tested it on that type of brick. I don't know if it would have stuck as well onto that type of brick. This brick, this kind of rough, really, there's the peacock, this rough kind of like porousy brick, can you see? That kind of brick is fine to paint, and I can say that confidently because I've painted it, and this has lasted well over 12 months. So this is absolutely fine. This is one of Black Sands. That's how well it covered, and that's how well it lasts, and that is the durability of silk. People always go, oh, do you need a top coat? No, you absolutely don't need a top coat at all. It's super, super tough. So it's got a built-in stain blocking primer, which is not really going to be of any benefit to you unless you're painting solid wood. But I thought I'd add that. I thought I'd add that little friendly fact in there. It's got a built-in stain blocking primer. It's also got a built-in top coat, which is the thing that is going to help, obviously, repel rain. I imagine that porous brick just drinks up any moisture. Yep, it does. It just sucks it up. It was dry. The last time that I did this in Black Sands, it was dry within minutes. Within minutes, it was super dry, but it was on a slightly sunnier day. Yes, you don't need a top coat because it's already in the paint, exactly. So as the paint dries, it forms a really durable seal, which is a top coat. So it's got a top coat built in. Now, if you wanted to add any extra top coat on top of this, you absolutely can. It is compatible with all the clear coats and top coats in the Dixie Belle range, so you could add an extra top coat over this if you wanted to. And what I think I am going to do is because obviously I'm going to now not have a door that matches. My door's going to be the grey and the brickwork is going to be black. What I think I'm going to do is put a top coat over my door. Now the reason for that is dark colours tend to get kind of, they can mar, so that you can get like fingerprints on them. And obviously we use the door daily, we use it all the time. It's our kind of, now the birds are gracing us with their song. So we use the door all the time. Also, like I say, we have 4 dogs, so it gets a little bit of use. And what I think I'm going to do this time, because I have got some interior doors as well. Now we've got an aeroplane going over. This is why it's outside, it's a nightmare. What would you do if I was you? Match the door. I'm not going to paint the windows. They cost a lot of money. Also, have you seen the style of windows that I've got? All of that. No. They're staying white. I just hate the brown door. Hate it. I don't know why I thought that was okay when I ordered it. It's clearly not in my right mind when I ordered that. I should have just ordered black or white. Even wouldn't have been quite so bad as that horrible brown. Anyway, we live and learn, don't we? What was I saying? Oh yeah, top coat. So I am going to top coat the doors when I've done that, and that's not necessarily to add any kind of durability, because I can testify that that is super tough paint. And even where the dog has scratched it time and time again, it is held up really well. Suggesting to match the trim of your door to the colour of your window trim. Do you mean the window sill? Is that what you mean? The bottom bit? That bit down there? Is that bit? I don't know what you mean. I ain't touching the windows anyway. I'm not that committed. Yeah, so I'm going to put a top coat once I've repainted the doors in the black. I'm going to put a top coat. I think you misunderstood me. I'm suggesting you paint the trim on your door white. Ah, you want me to paint the doors white? Okay, I could paint them white, but it's not gonna be exactly the same. I'm gonna paint them black, and then I'm gonna add a top coat. So the top coat is more to help me clean, as opposed to increase durability, because like I say, I can testify that this paint is super durable. I've also painted my garden gate in this, which is a wooden gate, and that is one of the first things that I painted as a Dixie Belle brand ambassador when I did a live. It was super awkward. I started out giving myself an awkward mission for a live, because before me being a brand ambassador, I'd hardly done any live video at all, and to say I was nervous is an understatement. So I started out doing a live outside. No, the wood trim around your door should be the same colour as the trim on your windows. Oh. That bit. You mean that little bit there? Yeah, that's plastic as well. It's because it's a cheap extension. It's a cheap sunroom. The previous owners did it. And to be honest, further down the line, I think we might be knocking it down. That's why I'm not sort of taking too much time over it. So yeah, the first one of the first videos that I did when Silk arrived in the UK, and which was not long after me being made a brand ambassador, was my garden gate. And it's gone down in history, and in my eyes, for being an awful live. But everyone's like, oh yeah, your garden gate, yeah, you did that first. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I am an April baby. Yes, I am. That's odd that you should say that, but I am April the 3rd, in fact, is my birthday. I expect you all to send me a birthday card. Obviously, it's been and gone this year, but yes. So, as you can see, I'm using the biggest brush that Dixie Belle do. This is a flat large. This is a synthetic brush. You could use, if you've got lots and lots of kind of holes to kind of get your paint into, you can use a natural bristle brush. But I just like silk with, because I'm stubborn. All right, Jackie. Where was I? Stop interrupting me with abuse. Yeah, synthetic brush. I just like how silk applies with this synthetic brush. It covers really well. I'm not going to need to do any more than one coat on this. It covers superbly. Most of the colours in the silk line will literally cover with one coat. Now, you can stir more than paint. Me too. I obviously do more than one coat on furniture just because it's best practice to do that, and it gives me more confidence because I sell my furniture doing 2 coats. But this, because it's only my house, and like I say, one day this extension, fingers crossed, will be coming down. I'm not gonna be too precious about 2 coats. So that was a good question, and I was going to cover that, I promise. So when I did this wall, bear in mind I was covering orange brick, and there's all that, and the door. I used 2 pots of silk, black sands. This pot isn't quite full, it's about here. So I did a little commission with this not long ago, and I used that much on the commission. So I've got that. I reckon that'll get me most of the way. Now, probably that's because I've got black sands underneath, so it's going to make it slightly easier. I'm not going to get that kind of, the brick isn't going to be sucking up the paint quite as quick. You knew I was an Aries. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I get hankering to do something, and that's it. Like, I just have to do it, and then it's out of my system. And then I'm okay. Even if it's 10 o'clock at night, I would just like do it. And it annoys Andy because he's the opposite of me. He's like he puts stuff off until I pester him to do it, basically. That's why. So you can see, obviously there is a slight colour difference. The only reason I'm redoing this is because, number one, it needed a little bit of a touch up, and obviously we're approaching summer, we spend a lot of time out here. Number two, because I painted that little kind of wall down there, which was reclaimed scaffolding in Anchor, so I kind of wanted it to match. So this has got like cool, like a more of a bluey undertone. That's black sands. That's like a charcoal grey with like bluey undertones, I would say. And then this is a true black. This is true jet black, and this is the one. This is obviously the colour that I'm using. Also, don't judge the state of the garden. That chair there, I actually painted that for a promo that I did with eBay UK last year. I'm going down. They wanted to see something that was painted for outside, so I did that as a little project, and that has weathered amazingly as well. That's just gone straight over an outdoor chair, 2 coats of black sands. I'm gonna have to paint that to match, aren't I? I've just thought, or am I? Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll see how the mood takes me. I'm definitely not going to be doing it today. So if you are painting over brick or anything that's really heavily textured like this, stone or whatever, you will probably find you'll use more paint than doing a smooth surface like wood or something like that. And that is because you're going to need to work the paint into all of the texture. So you notice I'm making sure that I've got plenty of paint on my brush, and I'm working it backwards and forwards. And also there's lots and lots of little kind of, you've seen the close-up of these bricks, you know what it's like. They're very, very rough bricks, so occasionally I do need to kind of jab the brush into all the little bits of texture to make sure that I've covered it all. And the best advice is to work slowly in small areas. Start one side, work to the other. I don't think a roller would work with this, unfortunately, because that obviously would give you the ability to cover a bigger area quicker. But because there's so much texture, in this, I don't think a roller would work. You could try it, but I don't think it would. And that's why I'm using the biggest brush that Dixie Belle do, which is this one, just because it's going to help me cover the space obviously a lot quicker. And you've noticed that I haven't taped any of the window off or anything. If I do get any paint on the plastic, it's not going to stick, and it will literally either wipe off if you do it when it's wet, or if you leave it to dry, it will literally just scratch off, because this paint needs something porous to basically grip onto in order to stick. Will the brush survive this? Yeah, my last brush survived it. I'll just get the old scrubby soap on it. She'll be good. She'll be good to go. So if you did want to paint something that was plasticky like this, that's when you need Slick Stick. And that is a primer that allows you to paint surfaces that paint doesn't ordinarily grip to, basically. So in that is metal, plastic, laminate, glass, and Slick Stick is Dixie Belle's adhesion primer. It's water-based, it doesn't smell, it's super easy to use. You just need to apply 2 coats, let it dry for 24 hours, and then you can paint your slippery surface. And that's exactly what I did to these door frames. So the brown that you can see there on the inside, because guess what, I didn't do the inside, I only did the outside. Should have done the inside. I will be doing the inside at some point. So that is obviously a fake wood. It's plastic, basically. So I use Slick Stick on that, and that is the difference. If you're painting something that is porous, so wood is porous, these bricks are porous, fabric is porous, silk is fine. If you are painting a slippery surface, your glass, your metal, your plastic, your laminate, IKEA furniture, all those kind of things, you are going to need something to make it grippy, to stop it being so shiny, and that is Slick Stick, if that makes sense. Bird incoming. Thought we had one landing then on the garden. We've got a lot of wildlife around here. So it's slow progress, but I can't not have it matching down there. I sat there the other day and looked, and I thought, yep, I'm going to need to paint it black to match. But it could do with a refresh anyway. And the other thing that I do, so obviously I was just mentioning about cobwebs and things like that. What I do before I start painting is use one of these brushes. This is just a cheap brush that I use for outside jobs, but the bristles are quite stiff, and all I do is just rub it over the brick before I paint, and that removes any like loose debris, because obviously if you don't remove that, it's going to get all trapped in your paint and be a bit kind of bitty and not that aesthetically pleasing. So anything like this, just give it a quick kind of once over. That gets rid of cobwebs and bits of dirt and stuff that's stuck on the surface, and that is literally all the prep that I did. Even when I was painting the brick before this, so when I painted the original colour, which is black sands, that's all the prep that I did. I didn't clean. If you have got a particularly dirty surface, you could jet wash outside, but there's no way I was scrubbing this wall. I was like, we're just going to go straight in with the paint. So it really is a real like testament to the paint that it just went on and just stuck and looked absolutely amazing as well. So also I do regularly jet wash this deck as well. I say regularly, I mean twice a year. Come on, I mean I ain't got time to do it regularly, but I do jet wash it, and it stood up absolutely fine, having like jet wash things in the water and all the stuff off the decking like flicked at it. It's absolutely fine. It's just sprayed up a little bit and gone a little bit dirty, but like I say, you could jet wash your wall or your wood or whatever it is. Just make sure that it's thoroughly dry before you start painting, and that's it. That's all I'm going to bore you with today. because I'll be honest, I could sit out here all day talking to you while I'm doing the wall, but I've also got to pick my kids up from school in a short while, and I was hoping to get this wall kind of finished before then. Do you reckon I can do it? I've got about 25 minutes before I've got to go and pick them up. No, there's no chance. I'll get that way done, but that side's going to have to wait, I think, until they get home from school. So I hope that's helped with any little outdoor projects. So silk, put your confidence in silk. It's an absolutely amazing paint. It's also, as well as all the other stuff that I've mentioned about it being UV stable, got a built-in top coat and all those kind of things, it's got, I am not saving it for the kids to do, Jackie. No way. There'll be paint all over the deck and everything. Absolutely not. It's got an ingredient in it that is basically anti-mildew and mould, which is perfect if you are doing outside stuff. As stuff gets damp and... No, Rebecca, I'm not saying it. As stuff gets damp... someone's just popped up and said, new colours from Dixie Belle. My mouth is sealed. As stuff gets damp and wears and stuff outside, obviously things can have like mould and mildew on them, but this has got an ingredient in it which repels that, so you won't get any surface mould growing where you have put silk, and it does 100% work. Because another boring story for you, I have our property's quite old, and our bathroom, the ceiling gets really mouldy. I can't stop. I believe they're going to show one colour per day, but from when? I don't know, you just have to keep your eyes out, Jackie. You just have to keep your eyes peeled. So anyway, our bathroom is subject to mould on the ceiling. Drives me round the bend. Painted it in silk. Guess what? No mould. No mould. Andy can't believe it. My mum can't believe it. I can, because I knew it was good. There's even a little bit where I missed, and there's mould on that little bit where there's emulsion, and everywhere else where I've put silk, no mould. It's an amazing, amazing paint. You tell I like it. So yeah, I'm going, before you lot make me say anything about new colours and stuff, I mean, I'm going to get in trouble and get the sack. So I'm going to go. I'm going to be back next week with another project, maybe not outside with the noisy birds, the peacocks, the helicopter, whatever it was, aeroplane going flying over. I'll probably be back inside doing something. But I appreciate you watching. I hope this has helped with any outdoor projects. If you've got any questions about silk, ping me a message on my social media platforms. I'll be happy to help you. And until then, I will be around on social media. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook and all the places, and catch up with me on there. Have a lovely day, and bye.